breaking news in Bothell, where a police officer was shot and killed in the line of duty overnight. A suspect is now in custody after a long search overnight. Another officer who was also shot in an exchange of gunfire in Bothell has been released from the hospital. You're looking live from Sky King now in Snohomish County outside the medical examiner's office, where the body of that fallen officer has now been brought to the ME's office, saluted by a long line of fellow law enforcement officers. It is a chilling moment we have seen all too often. King 5's Callie Greenberg live in downtown Bothell now with the latest. Callie, how did this happen?
So that procession that you saw, it started about an hour ago here from the scene. This is right in downtown Bothell on State Road 522. The update we just got from police: if you are in the Bothell area, expect this road to be closed at least until noon. But let's take a look at what police are looking at right now. So they're still investigating the scene. This car that's just behind me, this was the officer's vehicle that they're essentially investigating. What they're trying to do is map out what happened, what started with a traffic stop, then led into a pursuit where gunfire was exchanged between the suspect as well as officers, and then that suspect ran away essentially. So they're trying to map out the suspect's route as well as the route of the pursuit. That is why this investigation is taking so long. So it was around 9:40 last night that Bothell police attempted this traffic stop that resulted in the pursuit, and then that suspect then running and the gunfire exchange. So what we're hearing from police is that one officer was killed, a second officer was hit with gunfire, but has been released from the hospital. And then in this pursuit, a pedestrian on a scooter was also hit by the vehicle. They are doing okay. They were taken to Harborview, but they are doing okay. So the suspect was found around 3:20 this morning on top of a roof here in Bothell. The video you're looking at right now was video we shot early this morning of the suspect being taken into custody. That suspect has not been identified yet. Again, they were found on the top of a roof in a business here in Bothell after several hours of searching that included canines as well as helicopters looking for this individual who fled the scene from their vehicle after it had crashed into a median. So what else police are looking into is there was an exchange in gunfire between both the police as well as the suspect. They do not know who fired first or how this played out. Again, this started as a routine traffic stop. So one thing they'll be looking into is when did this escalate into something that eventually turned deadly. But as the Bothell Police Department continues their investigation, one thing that they're looking into and one thing that we've been touching on this morning as we've been watching the procession is this very well might be the first Bothell Police Department to ever be killed in the line of duty. At least when we spoke to a captain this morning, he said he'd worked here for 25 years and he had never heard of this happening. So the Bothell Police Department definitely has heavy hearts this morning. They're continuing the investigation, and I should mention, Bothell police are not doing the investigation. They have actually brought in a team, the Snohomish County Emergency Response Team. It's a team of detectives and agents and police officers from across the county who come in and put together this investigation. So it's not being done by the Bothell Police Department. It's actually being done by, it's a organization called SMART. They'll be doing that. But again, the road here expected to be closed until at least noon as that team works to wrap up their investigation. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Callie. I want to point out what Callie was saying about the SMART team. We also know that there are civilian community members who serve on SMART as well. This is because of the Law Enforcement Training and Community Safety Act. So again, when the SMART investigation is complete, results will be forwarded to the prosecutor's office for review as well. Just wanted to mention that there are community members who are involved in that SMART team. Well, we do know that in the meantime, the community is really responding this morning on social media. Several police departments across the region, they have all posted on Twitter sending their thoughts and, of course, sending their prayers to Bothell Police. Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best and Washington State Patrol Troopers are now offering condolences as well, and city leaders in Bothell, Mason Thompson for one, reacting to the news, writing, "I am heartbroken about what's happening in Bothell. My prayers are with officers who have been shot and their families." So a lot of people, again, just sharing their condolences and thoughts this morning on social media, Jake.
Yeah, it's just incredible to see.